Good morning, sentient beings, and welcome to the Long Dark. What I'm going to do here is start a new game, and this will be for streaming only. I also intend to upload day by day within the game onto my YouTube channel, which I think is linked somewhere in my Twitch account. So in case you weren't aware, The Long Dark is a survival game. It places you in some sort of post-apocalyptic northern Canada, very cold and unpleasant, definitely somewhat challenging, especially at some of these levels here. I'm just going to play Voyager, because I'm not actually hugely familiar with the game. I've got a certain amount of time in, which has included some very amusing deaths, including one which I hope I don't repeat, right at the very beginning of the game where I got trampled by a moose. Twice, which I thought was hilarious. Right, as I recall, Mystery Lake is... yes, good for new players. We'll consider me that. It's a good place to start. Do I want scurvy? No, I think I'll skip scurvy on this occasion. So there we go, it's official. This is a stream-only game. And let's... oh, great. Did we end up at night? This is not the time I would have chosen to spawn into the game, to be honest. I'm I'm slightly familiar with this region, but not at night I'm not. So let's see how long I survive. Obviously, the first thing... I actually know where I want to go to. It's the ranger cabin, if I can find it. But there are other places where you can find shelter. The ranger cabin's a good place to start from. No, I don't have time for that. Picking up twigs is always a good idea, because you'll need them for starting fires. Of course, if you're familiar with the game, you'll be familiar with some of the basic things you do. Pick up sticks, pick up stones, that sort of thing. But you'll see me be doing that as we go along. I'm probably heading in the wrong direction, so anybody who's watching this video or later or on YouTube is probably going to start yelling at me that I'm heading the wrong way. Well, it's only a game. I wondered if that was a body. Ooh, that's a rather nice effect. I must have heard that before. The owl. Distinctly creepy. Oh, this is new. I don't think I've seen that before. Oh, wow. This is definitely on the creepy side. I've never spawned in at night, so this is a first. It is very pretty, I must admit, or at least the sky is. The game, you can tell, is actually quite old. I can't remember how long it's been out there. It is not the most computer demanding game in the world, but it still looks remarkably good. Ah, I have been down here before, I think. Not in this session, obviously, but I seem to remember this. In fact, I have a suspicion this is where, in a previous game, I got trampled to death by a moose. And I believe it was at this level. I can't remember if moose are nocturnal in real life or in the game. Let's see what we've got here.
Is it food or?
I am getting cold. Why do I have the feeling this session is going to end up with me dying horribly from frostbite?
Cold is making my head feel thick.
Oh, there's a rabbit. There's rabbits. I wonder if I can grab me a rabbit. I cannot remember. What have I got? Okay, let's see. Oh. Ah. I don't really need a rabbit at this section of the game, but let's see if we can grab ourselves a rabbit. Come on, stop. In real life, this is about the last thing I think I'd do at this point, until I had shelter. But, oh. Okay. Affliction risk, hypothermia.
Warm up soon.
Yes. I'm not surprised. I've got absolutely no shelter. It's the middle of the night. I can only imagine that it is bitterly, bitterly cold. Minus 20 maybe? I have actually been in minus 20 degrees centigrade weather. It's not too bad as long as it's relatively dry. But you do obviously want to be properly wrapped up. I have to admit, for streaming, this isn't exactly the time of day I would have chosen to spawn in, but, well, maybe sunrise will make for an interesting set of landscapes. Okay, it's official. I am now completely lost. What I really want to do is find the railway line. If I can find that, then I hopefully can find my way to shelter. I do note they have a warning at the beginning of the game that this is not reflective of reality. No, it isn't. It really is not. Doesn't make it any less entertaining. I suppose if they did it absolutely realistically, it would be unplayable. Ah, I recognize this. There's a cabin over there. This is actually not a bad spot. So it will certainly give me a place to rest for the night. Yes, the problem is, if I go into the house, it will be very dark. This is not encouraging. A trapper's cabin with its own graveyard. 3 people. I don't know if there's a story. Is it 3 people? Yeah. I don't know if there's a story behind how these people ended up buried here. Where's the way up? Oh, come on. I thought the way up was over here. No? Must be round the other side. Okay, this place is definitely creepy at night. In previous gameplays, I haven't actually gone out much at night because it's cold and this is really not the time of day you want to be walking around without proper equipment, which I don't have. I don't have anything, obviously, at this point. I haven't checked the default settings. Sorry, I say default settings. I'm sorry, I mean the default contents of your backpack. Really, what I can hope for in here, given it's going to be so dark, oh okay, there's the way up, is basically get some sleep, because I won't be able to see in here. Yeah, no, this is what it looks like. So what I want to do is see if there's a bed. Is there a bed in here? I thought there was. Alright, let's have a look, see if I've got... I do have a match. Okay, there's the bed. Alright.
Thank goodness.
I have no idea what time it is, but let's sleep for 4 hours. Oh, I should have... No, I had water. Well, water in my stomach. Oh, that's not a good thing. Still can't see. I don't think it will, so what I'll have to do is pass time for a few hours. Ah, now we can see. Alright, let's... Did I get the charcoal? I did get the charcoal. I can't remember how
Kind of
to...
thirsty.
Yes, I can't remember how to put everything away. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't have any decoys. How do I... I want to put the matches away. Okay. Alright, let's have a search. A whetstone. I'll
I
take
could use
that.
this.
A bit of food. Use that for fires. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting
What have we here?
some tearing on the screen. I shouldn't. In principle. Alright, we'll take that for the moment. One of the big things about the game is, like all such games, is inventory management. You can get overloaded, which you really don't want. I will come back to the safe later. Now, one question I have at this point is, do I continue to try and find a better place to stay? Because I don't appear to have... Do I have any means of making water?
Could end up being useful.
You reckon? It doesn't throw massive quantities of items at you. Obviously at harder levels it gives you even less. I am very tempted to try and find a better place. Alright. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I'm going to forget the numbers, I can assure you. I don't have a pen and paper by me. Oh. So what was that, about 33? Or did I imagine that? Nope, that's about 33. Alright, I obviously made a mistake there, didn't I? Okay, that's 32.
I'll die if I don't drink something soon.
What do you want to bet I won't find anything useful? $32, $35. Okay. $32. $36.5. 32, 36. $32, 36. 50-ish. Alright. $32. 50-ish I said, didn't I?
This'll come in handy.
Okay. And I'm thirsty. And do I have any... I don't... I suppose I should find out what I have in my inventory. Do I have any means of making water? I do. Okay. I think I'm going to need some more firewood. But what I can do is see if I can't upgrade my clothing a bit. I'm already wearing thermal underwear. Didn't I have a head wrap? Thought I had a cloth wrap. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, I may as well stick with my new thermal underwear and well, that's better than nothing. Let's take a look outside. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to map. You don't have a map, per se. You have to make your own. I thought I could scroll. Can I not scroll? Oh. Yes. Use the mouse. So this is basically how you map your way around. Effectively, you can map what you can see. If you go to the world map, that's where you... that's it, that's what you are. And we are around here somewhere. It doesn't show you where you are because technically speaking you wouldn't. And this is not a circumstance I'm particularly happy about seeing. But I need firewood so I can get water. And I'm already freezing cold.
Damn, I'm freezing.
What do we have over here? Of course, in reality, if it was like this outside, under these circumstances and with the lack of equipment that we have, you probably wouldn't go anywhere. I'm not a survival expert. I've just watched people like Ray Mears quite a bit. Aha!
I need more of that.
Okay, that's useful. Let's see if I can remember how to crouch. Oh. Now that tearing you're seeing is, I am running this monitor at 60 Hertz to reduce the frame rate, and I am running with VSync enabled, but I think VSync is happier when I run at the optimum frame rate for this monitor, which is 180 Hertz. And I'm going away. Alright. For entertainment's sake, let's see if I can find anything interesting. I just forgot my standard rule. I ought to go back to the house and make some water. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Getting caught out in this strikes me as being the height of silliness. You can apparently game the food. You don't have to eat on a regular basis. You can basically starve all day, and as long as you eat at night, you should be okay. But I think water is a different problem. Not sure. Oh, in case anybody's wondering, these are max graphic settings, what you might call ultra custom. There's a few other options that don't get set to maximum on ultra, and I've set those to maximum. So this is, short of the resolution, as good as it looks. Alright, let's see if I've got enough to make some water. Let's start a fire. Okay, start fire.
That didn't work.
The game is sufficiently engrossing that you do find yourself getting a little bit anxious at things like this. You know, can you even get a fire started? And I want water, and all I have is a recycled can. And I'm going to basically put as much water as I can, get as much water as I can. Now, here's a realistic item. Snow is not actually a very good water supply. You could fill this can with snow and melt it, and you would find that you haven't got very much water. Memory tells me that if you have 12 inches of snow, it reduces down to about 1 inch of water. So this is not realistic, but you do need a lot of snow to melt. And here's the thing. You want to boil it, even if you don't think you need to. You do need to boil snow. Unless, I suppose, you're really desperate. But in the same realistic situation, yeah, you want to boil it. In fact, if you are boiling water from an unknown source, the general rule of thumb is you don't just want to bring it to a boil. You want to bring it to a rolling boil, and then you want to keep it there, and I believe it's for about 10 minutes to make sure that you've killed off any bacteria or other nasties that might be in there.
All I can think about is food.
So yeah, it's just not enough to simply bring it to a boil. I think I'm basically going to use all my sticks just to get water. Yeah. And I went out. That was silliness on my part. I didn't pay enough attention. Well, let's drink that. Okay, let's take the can. I have water. I'm not too worried about food. Oh, there's dog food in there.
I'll be hungry later.
And I think I've used up all the immediate resources. If I had more food, you could obviously stay here for longer. You probably could get away with staying here a few days in the game, but one of the things they have somewhat nerfed, if that's the right expression, is the amount of food you would actually need in this situation. You may have noticed that it does have things like calorie counts. That is not realistic. The amount of calories you need in this kind of weather, if you're out and active, is quite staggering. Far more than they show. I want to say you would need 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day just to stay in halfway decent shape. But trying to get that amount of food in a game like this would be, it would make it rather difficult to play. Let's have a quick look around. I'll see if I can get a rabbit. There is something in a real-world situation. You have to be... Oh, it's a deer. I don't have anything I can take a deer down with at this point. But in a real-world situation, let's suppose you have plenty of rabbits around and you have the means of capturing them. You can't survive on a diet of rabbit. It will kill you. It's actually called rabbit starvation. And people have actually died from that. In the real world, they basically ate nothing but rabbit, and there isn't sufficient nutrition in a rabbit to keep you alive, even if you eat the whole thing. You could find yourself in very real danger very quickly. Almost. I'll give it one more shot, and I'm trying to think. There was a case in Canada. I want to say in Newfoundland, but I'm not sure. And somebody did find themselves, I won't say in this situation, and they did eat rabbit and they starved to death. because they didn't have they didn't have access to other or didn't know that that could happen. But you definitely need. All right, let's see if we can't figure this out. So something to be aware of. You would put things off if you ate everything.
So hungry.
Well, is that human? Or is it a deer? But if you do find yourself having to eat rabbit, you want to eat the fat, the organs. You might want to avoid the liver, the brain. But you would still want to find a better source of an additional sources of nutrition. I'm trying to remember what you might be able to find in a situation like this. Oh.
Can't be too careful. Thank goodness.
Now, of course, the slightly amusing thing is this corpse is fully dressed, which might be useful, but you can't loot the body in quite that fashion. Alright, let's head up this way and see if we can't find a better place to stay. Now, birch bark is actually quite useful. Obviously, you can use it for tinder, but if it comes to it, you can actually make oil out of birch bark. There's a way of cooking the bark down to get oil from it, and that oil is very useful. They've as far back as Homo neanderthalensis, Neanderthal man, they found that Neanderthals were using birch oil to glue arrowheads to sticks. And you will find videos on YouTube of people making birch oil. I believe you can even make
place to escape this cold.
I believe you can even make a form of chewing gum out of it. If it was the right time of the year, I think you can get birch sap. A bit like maple sap, but it's birch sap. And apparently that's quite refreshing. Again, I am simply relating what I've heard. Please don't take this as advice on how to survive in the wilderness under such circumstances. Yeah, I think next time I stream this, I'm going to kick my frame rate up to avoid the tearing that we're seeing. Now, my mind is telling me to go uphill. I don't know why. Ah, and I think it's because I can see...
Wait. I'm so cold and warming up again.
Now, that the gentleman just said there is a bad sign. If you find yourself in a situation like this and you go from cold to feeling warm, that is a very dangerous sign. It means hypothermia is setting in. Unfortunately, I don't want to go that way, so we're going to follow the rail line. because I know that where I want to be is down here. The Trapper's Cabin, in past games I've stayed there for a few days, but where we're heading is much better for long-term stay. It's almost quite cozy. And you know, the one thing that I'm not doing is I'm not looking out for wolves, because there are wolves here. Let's have a little look. I think it's safe to say that if I got attacked by a wolf at this point, it would be game over. I don't have a knife. I could probably... I think you might be able to scare them off by throwing stones at them. I do have a flare somewhere, which I believe can be used to scare off wolves. It's an interesting thing. While wolves in the Americas and wolves in Northern Europe, I think they're more or less the same species. But wolves in Europe have a much worse reputation than wolves in the Americas. I don't know whether there is a genuine difference in the behavior, or whether it's simply that Europe, being so much more densely populated, has had more contact with wolves in history. And this is where I'm heading. If you're new to the game and you want a much cozier experience, this is the place to come. There's a lot of resources around here. This is a good survival base to hang up in. Lac Mystère, Mystery Lake. And the reason this is such a good area is you have the fishing huts, you have fishermen's huts over there. You can fish here if you can find a hook and a line. You can search the other houses / cabins. Yes, cabins is the right word, isn't it? And then you have this place. I didn't want to do that. I can't remember how to put... Anybody but remember how you put the stone away? I don't remember how to put the stone away. But yes, you have a lot more resources here.
That'll come in handy.
Okay, so at the moment my main concerns are I'm cold and I'm hungry. The hungry doesn't matter so much at this point. Of course, in reality it would. We're just going to pop out and map the immediate area. You know, I can't tell if the sun is going down or the sun is coming up. I think it's going down, isn't it? I don't know what that is. Watchtower? I can't remember if I've been up there. Let's see what we can see. Okay. So I think what I'll do, for interest's sake, is head down towards the edge of the map what I can see, and then get myself what I will now call home. There are wolves around here, by the way. I had this very forcefully told to me when I actually got attacked coming back from one of the fishing huts over there, and I got attacked twice and promptly died. Just as I was starting to feel safe. Oh, these are useful. Cattails. You can eat them. I believe you can eat them in real life as well. The roots of cattails are quite nutritious. It's where the plants store food for the winter, so if you can get your hands on that, that is quite useful. Does anybody see cattails? Have I missed it? Yes, I'm safely saying the sun is going down. And that will be the end of day 1, I suppose. You can run. I am not going to. My inclination in this kind of situation. Oh, cattails. So these are good for eating and good for starting fires. In reality, while you might use the heads there, what you want is the roots underneath. I can't remember if technically they're tubers or not. Now, if we had scurvy on, we would certainly want to be using the rose hips a lot more. In reality, rose hips do contain vitamin C. And vitamin C deficiency will kill you. No, I've run out. If you are in this kind of area, you can apparently get vitamin C from pine needles, but I think you need relatively fresh, new growth. You can make pine needle tea, and apparently that does contain vitamin C. But vitamin C was a real scourge. It became to particular prominence during the Age of Sail, where ships would be outside of land for weeks or months at a time, and I need more firewood. And the sailors would start exhibiting various symptoms, and it was possible for basically the entire crew to become almost incapable of manning the ship. Eventually, through trial and error, I suppose, they found out that things like limes and lemons and sauerkraut would keep the sailors alive. I can't remember the point at which they figured out it was vitamin C deficiency that was causing scurvy. There's a story that one of the reasons that Americans calls the British limeys is because we used to drink lime juice on our ships. You don't actually need a huge amount of it. But once everybody figured out that you needed something like limes and lemons, they became sort of a standard feature of the provisions on a age of sail ship. Yeah, that is quite some tearing there. Next time I do have VSync on, but eh. Although I suppose it could just be... I might have to try it next time. I'm actually running this... I'm streaming at 2560 by 1080. Because this is a 3440 by 1440 screen. Next time I might just try running it at full resolution and see whether that fixes the problem. And of course I have no source of light, and I need to find the stove
so
or the
cold
bed.
in my life.
Right. Think I'm gonna have to light a match. Oh boy, yes. And he is rapidly falling asleep. I have not seen that behavior before. Alright,
I just need to close my eyes.
drink some water. Now this is definitely the part of the day when you want to eat. So... I actually feel sorry for the poor guy. Where's the bed? Oh no, I died. I died. Well, that is one way of ending the stream. I died. I normally do better than that. Well, thank you for watching. Next time I will try and do better. I will start a new game and see how far I can survive next time, but that was actually kind of amusing. I have not died in that fashion before, so that's a new experience for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't been watching this live, I hope you enjoy it either on YouTube, which I think is linked somewhere in my Twitch account, or I hope you enjoy the video, which should be saved for the next 7 days. I hope you all have a good day.